If your cat is drinking more than usual, it could be of no concern or indicate a real problem. Before you take your cat to the vet, you can educate yourself on the common terms, issues, and options related to increased thirst to help make the best decisions for your furry family friend. Welcome to For the Love of Cat channel. Let's quickly go over two basic terminologies so you'll understand their meanings when you hear them. The symptom of always being thirsty is called polydipsia. It may sound scary, but when you break it down, it's simple. Poly means much, and dipsia is a Greek origin word for thirst. You can remember this by thinking how your cat dips its tongue in the water. Polydipsia isn't a term for any disease itself, it just describes the thirst symptom. Another associated medical word you might hear is polyuria, which, maybe you've guessed, is much urination. You can probably initially tell that your cat is drinking more than normal for them by just how often you're filling their water bowl. Once you suspect the issue, the best approach is to first determine if polydipsia actually exists. Start a log and measure the amount of water placed in the bowl every day. Measure the remaining every 24 hours and write down the difference. A healthy cat will consume about 1/8 of a cup of water per pound per day. That equals a cup for an 8-pound cat. Normal can be different for every cat, but that's a useful guide. Along with each measurement, write down an observation of how much wet litter is in the box for the same period. It's important to know that excessive thirst isn't necessarily a reason to be concerned at first, but with many conditions, an early diagnosis can improve the outlook for successful treatment. So increased drinking is an indicator of the need for an investigation. It's possible that in an otherwise healthy cat, the behavior is from boredom, attention-seeking, or even they might just like drinking water. Let's look at some of the common reasons for the problem and how they are generally treated. It's not a complete list, as there are many, many possibilities, but the top 3 causes are diabetes, kidney dysfunction, and an overactive thyroid. Other common causes include low-protein diets, urinary tract disease, liver disease, dehydration from vomiting or diarrhea, high blood calcium levels, increased salt consumption, and age. If you notice your cat drinks a lot for short periods from time to time, it shouldn't cause much concern. A trip to the vet can't hurt, but as the periods of thirst become longer, more consistent, and frequent, visiting the vet becomes more critical. Here are the diagnosis steps that your vet will likely use and where you can help with your cat's information. Step 1. Assessment. This is the initial investigation step of gathering information. It's a good time to provide the water log you've been keeping. The veterinarian might ask about your cat's diet, energy levels, and other questions about the history of the problem. A physical exam can reveal any abnormalities. An enlarged thyroid gland, for example, is a common finding for a cat experiencing polydipsia. It might go without saying, but it's important to know that the veterinarian will not specifically treat the excessive thirst. They are seeking to find and treat the underlying cause. With so many possibilities, there is no magic pill for a thirsty cat. Step 2. Diagnostic testing. The exam and history help the doctor determine what tests to order. Standard blood and urine screens are both common for polydipsia. The initial tests are usually inexpensive and help find the cause most of the time. Your vet may recommend a water deprivation test based on the initial lab results. It's a fairly common test for polydipsia, but it can be dangerous since dehydration can have adverse effects in certain conditions. Because of the risks, there are safer initial screenings to take into account for a diagnosis. MRIs or biopsies are rarer tests that might be required. Step 3. Consultation, treatment, and follow-up. Hopefully, the underlying cause is clear at this point, or your vet can recommend treatment to see if the symptoms improve. The treatment and outlook will depend on the condition diagnosed. It may include dietary changes, medications, or no action at all. In certain diseases such as kidney failure, excessive thirst is not expected to improve, but allowing your cat access to plenty of water is part of the treatment. If you're watching this video out of concern for your or someone's cat, we wish them well. Please stay in touch and feel free to ask questions in the comments. Click here now to subscribe and join our family for fun and informative pet topics.